Hello class, good morning. So after we discuss solving equations, our topic for today is measuring time. So how do we measure time? So when we measure time, of course, we use clock. So we have two types of clock. We have the analog and the digital clock, but most of us we are using the analog clock. That is the common clock that we are using at home. So an analog clock shows the time using an hour hand and a minute hand. The minute hand is longer than the hour hand, and analog time is usually shown as minutes up to 30 past the hour or minutes up to 30 before the next hour. So this is an example of an analog clock. So the longer hand is the minute hand and the shorter one is the hour hand. So okay, how to identify the time, okay, given this one. So you can see that the hour hand is near to 2. So it means the time is 2 and the minute hand is in 6, so 30 minutes. So if we're going to read the time is 2 2:30 or 30 minutes past 2 because it's 30 minutes after 2 and or 30 minutes before 3 o'clock because after 30 minutes that you round it, the time would be 3 o'clock. So you can read this time 2:30, 30 minutes past 2 or 30 minutes before 3. So this one also is an example of analog clock. So the time is next. Let's read the time for this one. So if the hour hand is in between 1 and 2, so in between 1 and 2, that that means that it is still 1 o'clock. But if it is in between 12 and 1, that is still 12 o'clock. Okay, so since the hour hand is in between 1 and 2, then it is still 1 o'clock. Then next is the minute hand is in 8. We count it by 5, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So it means that the time is 1:40. Okay, 1:40, or we read it as 40 minutes past 1 or 20 minutes before 2. I will repeat, we read this time as 1:40 or 40 minutes past 1, or we can also read this as 20 minutes before 2 because after 20 minutes the time would be 2 o'clock. So next is in an hour, the minute hand makes a complete turn around the clock while the hour hand moves slowly towards the next hour. So the diagram on the left shows the position of the hour hand as it moves from 2. So next. So let's say that I am doing an activity. So I started at 1. Okay? So if the minute hand is pointing on the 12, then the hour hand is pointing exactly to a number, then you will read this as 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. So let's say that I am doing activity and I started at 1 o'clock. Then I am doing the activity at 2 o'clock. So from 1 o'clock to 2. So my start time is 1 o'clock. My end time is 2 o'clock. So if you're going to elapse, when you say elapse time, that is the time in between 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock. So it's just like you are subtracting what time did you use or how long did you do the activity. So since from 1 to 2, then it means that I use 1 hour or I spend 1 hour, or that is what we call elapsed time 1. Okay? So this is an example of analog clock and a digital clock. Actually, a digital clock shows the time in hours from 1 to 12. It shows the time in minutes from 00 to 59. AM PM are usually shown on the display of a digital clock. The digital clock on the right, or the digital clock shows 12:34 p.m. Okay? So the first number represents hours and the second number represents minutes. So the day is split into AM and PM. The AM hours are the 12 hours running time between 12 midnight and 12 noon. So that is the AM time. And AM or antemeridian are the Latin words for before, afternoon, or morning. The PM hours are the running time between 12 noon and 12 midnight. PM or post meridiem are the Latin words for afternoon. So that's the difference of AM and PM. For AM between 12 midnight to 12 noon, while for PM between 12 noon and 12 midnight. So you can see here the difference of, okay, AM and PM. So now I will discuss to you on how to change time on 24-hour clock to 12-hour clock, because military time is 24-hour clock. They do not choose PM and AM anymore. So I will show to you on how to change the time from 24-hour clock to 12-hour clock, from 12-hour clock to 24-hour clock.